Hello, I'm Piaget Jenkins. Today we'll discuss workspace preferences and printing preferences in RES Workspace Manager 2011. The Workspace Preferences tool is essentially the user's desktop management system. It offers the user several options such as configuring their desktop and quick launch icons or pin to taskbar, starting applications automatically, or even swapping mouse buttons, for example. Since Workspace Preferences is part of the user experience, the customizations are actually performed by the user within their session. But before we dive into that, I would like to show you some of the options that can be limited via the management console. So to get started, we want to navigate to Composition, Desktop, and then Lockdown and Behavior. Now, using Instant Search, we can navigate right to the Workspace Preferences options by just typing it in. And there we are. So let me go ahead and zoom in for you guys so you can see some of the options here. We can always hide the workspace preferences, or we can just hide or limit certain things such as change the desktop colors, hide the quick launch, or even just limit workspace preferences to change password and change desktop colors. As you can see, I just have this one checked here. Hide do not display my name in the screensaver and workspace preferences, and that's all we're going to use for today. Now that we have our options set up in the Lockdown and Behavior node of the Management Console, let's go ahead and take a look at the user experience and the workspace preferences. Alright, now that we're logged in with our user, let's go ahead and take a look. Now, workspace preferences can be found in the user's start menu, as you can see here right at the top, or you can go to All Programs, Workspace Manager Settings, and it can also be found here. So let's go to click on that and open it up. Now you're going to see several tabs here. You have Start Menu, Desktop, Pin to Taskbar, Startup, Background, Options, Diagnostics, and Other. Quite a mouthful, but there's a lot of options the users have to choose from. So in the first one we have Start Menu here, and this allows the users to choose which items are going to be placed in their Start Menu. Right now we have it checked to display all available applications in the Start Menu, so that anything that they have available to them is going to be displayed in their Start Menu for them to click on. But if they only want to have certain applications displayed, they can go ahead and uncheck that box and put it there. But we're going to leave that checked there so that all of our applications are available on the Start Menu. And if we move on to the next one up here, we have Desktop, and it's essentially the same thing. It's just going to place application shortcuts on the user desktop. So they can go through their Start Menu here and they can choose which applications they want to have a shortcut placed on their desktop. So let's go ahead and put Adobe Reader X. There we go. Next we have Pin to Taskbar. Same idea. They can go ahead and choose any applications they want to have pinned to their taskbar. So we can jump down and we can just choose Paint, slide that over, and that's going to be pinned to taskbar. And we have Startup. These are the applications that are going to be started automatically as soon as the user logs on. So in this case, it's nice to have that. For example, if they want to have Outlook started automatically when they log on, they can choose which applications they want. So we're going to go down and we're going to choose Chrome, for example. Next we have Background. The users can select their picture from a location, or they can change their background color or foreground color. If we move over to the next tab, we have Options, and they can choose how long to activate the screensaver. If they're slightly ambidextrous, they can swap the left and right mouse button if they so choose, or they can be notified if their printer has been changed, or they could just not display security notifications at all. Also, there's also language options here. Right now we have it configured for Dutch as well as English. And then they can also take a look at the taskbar properties from Windows. And if they want, they can change their password, which is pretty convenient. It reduces a few help desk calls there. Moving on over, we have Diagnostics on the next tab, and it gives them just information about their session, such as their current user, the client they're coming from, their LDAP entry, any memberships they have, the zones they belong to, as well as their connection state. As you can see right now, we're online, and the group memberships, first floor, domain users, and so on. And the last tab we have here is Other, and under Other we have Users Tracking. And this is where they can actually take a look at the users tracking for their sessions, and that includes their applications, their internet, depending on how you have it configured within a management console. Now I chose to have this tab configured for you so that you guys can see it, but usually you might want to have this disabled. And you can take care of that in the Workspace Manager Management Console under Users Tracking in the Setup tab. Now let's go ahead and apply our settings and take a look at what happens when we log off and log back on. On the application, you will see that we will have a refresh for any application shortcuts. It's going to place the shortcut right here on the desktop, as well as in their Start Menu if they choose anything on Start Menu. The taskbar is also modified with the application for Paint that we placed. And we're going to log off and log on now, and we can see which application is going to start automatically. Alright, and let's log back on. here we are. Our shortcuts are in place, and it's going to launch our auto launch application, Google Chrome. There we go. Now, the next thing we want to take a look at here is we want to go into printing preferences. Just as a reminder, we can also access that from Programs, Workspace Manager Settings, and Printing Preferences. Now here in Printing Preferences, this is basically the area where the user can do their document management and see all the printers and any printers they want to connect to. So starting at the top here, it shows the user the printers that are automatically made available to them for an administrator. So we have a few available here. You can choose the Microsoft XPS Document Writer, for example. With that, you have the options to open that and do traditional document management, as we see. Or you can set that as your default printer. Or you can even just connect another printer if you would like, and you can browse the network and choose another printer. Right below that, we're going to have what's shown as your current default printer for the user and the properties associated with that default printer. Now, if we click on the Advanced button, this is basically the only difference here is that it's going to show you the different locations that you can choose your default printer. So on the left-hand side here, you see My Location, and you see your available printers. So for example, if we want to choose the Ricoh, we can set this as a default printer from the current location, or you can set it as all locations. And this is really very useful if you have users that are logging in from multiple floors or multiple locations with a laptop, for example. Right below is pretty much all the same here. You have the information. You can connect to a printer and browse to one once again. You can refresh just to make sure if anything has changed, and also you can open it and do your document management. And that's pretty much all for printing preferences. And last but not least, we have the option for Power Help. And once again, that's found in the Start menu. You can go here, or you can just navigate right to the top there. And we click on Power Help, and it's going to open. And essentially what Power Help is that it provides the user with application information and support. And a lot of times this is not really provided for a user. So it's nice to have that in Workspace Manager. So once you open it up, you can see here, and the user is able to click on any application that's available to them, Adobe Reader 10 for example, and it's going to give the application description as well as the location of the navigation within the menu structure. To go to the next tab here, it gives the access information for the user. So in this situation, all users have access to Adobe Reader 10. If that was different, it would just say you have access, or is access or available to particular groups. And then if you jump right over one more time, it gives you the support information for the user, and you can edit this into the management console. And also access to the Power Help application can also be granted or denied within the management console. Once again, thanks for viewing. This has been Workspace Preferences with RES Workspace Manager 2011.